Imagine this. It's the dead of night in 17th century Madrid. The city's streets are silent, shrouded in fog rolling off the Manzanares River. But inside the high stone walls of the Convent of San Placido, shadows flicker like demons dancing. A king, yes, the most powerful man in Europe, slips through a secret tunnel, heart pounding, driven by a hunger that could shatter empires. He's not here for prayer. He's here for her, a beautiful young nun, veiled in white, who holds the key to his wildest desires. But what happens when those desires collide with something far darker? Something that turns holy vows into screams of ecstasy and betrayal. What if I told you this wasn't just a forbidden romance? It was a powder keg of lust, heresy, and possession that nearly dragged down the throne of St. Peter himself. Stick around, because this story will make you question everything you thought you knew about faith, power, and the human heart. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the wild underbelly of history, the scandals too juicy for textbooks, too twisted for Sunday sermons. I'm your host, and today we're cracking open the vaults of San Placido's convent, a place that looked like paradise on earth but hid hell's own playground. Picture it. Founded in 1623 by a noble woman named Dona Teresa del Valle y de la Cerda, this wasn't her average nunnery. Tucked away in Madrid's buzzing heart, on the Calle del Pez, it was bankrolled by the elite, kings, counts, and courtiers who saw it as a gilded cage for their daughters. Strict Benedictine rules, endless prayers, fasting that could break your spirit, isolation from the sinful world outside. Or so they thought. But behind those iron grills, something festered. Forbidden touches, whispered heresies, and a web of deceit that ensnared not just 30 innocent sisters, but the King of Spain himself. By the end of this, you'll see how veiled lust almost unveiled a dynasty's darkest secrets. Let's step inside those walls. Carefully now. It all starts innocently enough, or at least that's what the chronicles want you to believe. Dona Teresa, our foundress, wasn't some fragile flower. Born into one of Spain's richest families, she turned down a marriage proposal from the powerful Geronimo de Villanueva. Yeah, the same guy who'd built her dream convent to chase a higher calling. Or was it? By 1624, she's prioress, ruling over a growing flock of about 30 nuns, all veiled in black and white, chanting psalms from dawn till dusk. The convent's a marvel. Frescoed ceilings by top artists, a chapel lit by golden candelabras, even a secret garden where roses bloom blood red. But here's the tease. Under that piety, cracks were forming, and they started with a man in a brown robe, Fray Francisco Garcia Calderon, the new confessor in 1627. Now lean in close, because this is where the air gets thick with suspicion. Fray Francisco arrives like a saint, tall, eloquent, eyes that pierce your soul. He's got a reputation for curing troubled souls, but what no one knows yet is he's knee-deep in the Alumbrados, a shadowy heresy bubbling up from Spain's underbelly. These weren't your fire and brimstone fanatics. They were sly illuminists, whispering that true enlightenment came not from sacraments or good deeds, but from, well, let's just say spiritual unions that blurred the lines between flesh and faith. Imagine telling a nun that surrendering her body to the right man, under the guise of divine ecstasy, could birth holy children. Sounds insane? It was. And Fray Francisco? He was the serpent in the garden. It begins with one novice. Late 1627. She's in the dim confessional, spilling her fears about visions, shadowy figures clawing at her veil. Fray Francisco nods, murmurs prayers, then slips her a potion. For your nerves, child, to open your spirit to God. It's not holy water. It's a brew of herbs and secrets that loosens tongues, bodies, inhibitions. Hours later, she's convulsing in her cell, eyes rolling back, blasphemies pouring out like venom. The devil, he's inside me. The nuns rush in, cross themselves, call for exorcism. Fray Francisco steps up, crucifix raised, commanding the demon to name itself. And oh, it does, through her lips, in a voice like gravel. Lucifer, here to claim what's mine. Word spreads like wildfire through the cloister. By morning, another nun's riding on the flagstones, foaming at the mouth, hurling curses that would make sailors blush. Out, foul spirit. Fray Francisco thunders, but deep down, he's grinning, because every scream draws him closer, every possession a chance to heal with those potions, and more. Tease alert. What if I told you these weren't demons at all, but something far more human and hungry? The possessions snowball. One by one, 26 nuns fall. That's almost every sister under 40. The pretty ones, the passionate ones, the ones whose vows still burn hot with unspoken longings. The 4 elders? Spared. Too old, too wise, or just not illuminated enough. Picture the chaos. Cells echoing with guttural laughs, bodies slamming against walls, obscene gestures flashing under habits like forbidden lightning. One nun claws at her veil, screaming about demonic seed planted in her dreams. Another speaks in tongues, confessing visions of Fray Francisco as an angel of light, guiding her to beds of ecstasy. The prioress herself, Dona Teresa, our iron-willed founder, she succumbs too. In the dead of night, she's found levitating, or so witnesses swear, whispering heresies about how carnal acts with the enlightened could shortcut to heaven. The convent turns into a madhouse. Bells toll nonstop. Outside, Madrid buzzes. San Placido's cursed. The devil's got the lot of M. But here's where it gets deliciously tangled. Rumors fly that it's not just Fray Francisco pulling strings. Nobles from the court, whispers of the Conde de Oliveras, even King Philip IV himself, sneak in for midnight revels. Secret passages from Geronimo de Villanueva's palace next door, alleged tunnels under the cold vaults for trysts with the possessed. The air reeks of scandal. And the Inquisition? They smell blood. In 1628, they swoop in, robe inquisitors with iron faces, dragging nuns to Toledo's dungeons for observations. Interrogations turn brutal. Racks that stretch limbs, thumbscrews that crunch bones. Fray Francisco cracks first. Under the strappado, hoisted by wrists till shoulders pop, he spills it all. The potions, the seductions, how he and Dona Teresa turned the convent into a heretic's harem, convincing sisters that lust was the path to God. 26 women, drugged and deceived, their possessions a cover for forbidden nights. The trial drags into 1630. The Suprema, the Inquisition's High Council, deliberates in smoke-filled rooms. Fray Francisco abjures his heresies on bended knee. But it's not enough. Sentence, loss of priesthood, perpetual isolation in a monastery cell, weekly fasts on bread and water, public humiliation. Dona Teresa, lighter touch, abjure de Levi, for years locked in another convent, banned from court. The other nuns, scattered like ash, dispersed to silence the storm. But wait, did you catch that? 26 souls, twisted by one man's veiled lust, nearly exposing the rot in Spain's holy heart. And the king? Oh, he's just warming up. Fast forward breath. 1630s now. The dust barely settled. Enter Sor Margarita de la Cruz. She's a new novice, fresh-faced, with eyes like midnight stars and a smile that can melt iron. Word reaches the palace. A beauty in black robes at San Placido. Who whispers it? Geronimo de Villanueva. Still smarting from his unrequited love for Dona Teresa, now the convent's shadowy patron. He's built his palace cheek by jowl with the nuns, complete with hidden doors, coal chutes turned lovers' lanes. And Philip IV? The planet king, they call him. Ruler of half the world, but slave to his appetites. He's got mistresses lined up like soldiers, actresses, nobles' wives, even pages. But a nun, veiled, untouchable, that's catnip. It starts in the locutorio, that grilled parlor where outsiders peek but never touch. Philip arrives incognito, cloaked in darkness, Oliveras at his elbow. Sor Margarita glides in, habit whispering like silk. Their eyes lock. He presses against a grill, voice husky. Tell me your story, sister. What dreams haunt your cell? She parries with wit, quoting saints, but he sees the fire beneath. Letters follow, perfumed missives smuggled in prayer books, promising Jules' freedom, a life beyond walls. Gifts pile up, silks hidden in laundry, gold chains tangled in rosaries. Rejection? She laughs it off. My heart belongs to Christ's majesty. But Philip's not one to quit. He plots the ultimate prize, a midnight raid. With Oliveras and Villanueva, they'll tunnel through the secret passage, snatch her from her cell, whisk her to a royal bedchamber. Imagine the thrill. The king's pulse racing, torchlight flickering on stone walls slick with damp. Tonight, he breathes, she's mine. But Sor Margarita? She's no lamb. Cloistered, yes, but clever as a fox. Whispers reach her. The plot's afoot. What does she do? She teases fate. Orders a prioress to stage the unthinkable. That fateful night, as boots echo in the tunnel, they burst into her cell. And there she lies, on a bier draped in black velvet, face powdered corpse white, crucifix clutched to her breast. Candles gutter low. Nuns kneel in feigned mourning, chanting dirges. A tumbrel waits, body shrouded for burial. Villanueva stumbles first, screams like a banshee, bolts back through the dark. Philip follows, pale as death, Oliveras cursing the devil himself. She's gone, poisoned by her vows. They flee into the night, hearts hammering. The king's dream shattered on a nun's cold slab. Dawn breaks. Fury boils. Philip demands her head, figuratively at least. Find the witch who faked this farce. But Sor Margarita's vanish into the convent's depths, her death, a veil thicker than any habit. The Inquisition gets wind. Again, Fray Antonio de Sotomayor, the king's own confessor and inquisitor general, smells sacrilege. He hauls Villanueva to Toledo cells. 2 years in irons for facilitating the king's dishonor. Accusations fly. Tunnels for trysts, not just this one, but a pipeline for courtiers' lusts. Oliveras squirms, his hand in the plot. The Pope himself, Urban VIII, catches sent from Rome. Send the papers. This mocks the church. He demands a full dossier, ready to judge a king who toys with vows like playthings. Tease! What if this leaked? A papal bull condemning Philip, branding him heretic? Dynasties tremble. Habsburg thrones wobble. Alliances crack. The Inquisition's quill hovers over doom. But power, my friends, is a jealous god. Philip strikes back. Decrees fly. Sotomayor resigns in disgrace, pensioned off or exiled. His successor, Diego de Arce, buries the case under royal seals. The dossier to Rome? Intercepted. Burned in a courier's satchel. The notario Alfonso, the Paredes thrown in a Neapolitan dungeon for life. Villanueva? Freed after penance. Friday fast for a year. 2,000 ducats in alms. Eternal ban from the convent's shadow. Sor Margarita? She lives out her days in quiet legend, her death echoing in convent clocks that toll like funeral bells, a gift from the guilt-ridden king. And Philip? He commissions Velasquez to paint a crucified Christ for San Placido, eyes downcast in mock repentance. Now in the Prado, it stares out as if whispering, "What have you wrought?" Think about it. Pause the video right here. You're a young nun, walls closing in, a king's shadow at your door. Do you submit? Fight? Fake your end? Or imagine you're Philip, God on earth, yet craving what's sworn to heaven. Does power corrupt? Or just reveal? These scandals weren't isolated. They ripped the veil off an era where faith and flesh waged war. 26 nuns drugged into demons, a 7th lured by royal hunger, all under one roof. The Inquisition, meant to guard souls, bent to crowns. And the Pope? Sidelined, his dynasty's grip on Spain slipping just a hair. Historians whisper could have sparked a schism. Urban VIII versus the Habsburgs, echoing Luther's thunder. But the real twist? It didn't topple anyone. The church swept it under. Archives sealed till centuries later. San Placido stands today. A hotel now, ghosts in the grout, but its echoes linger. In the cries of those possessed, hear the silent screams of women caught in men's games. In Sor Margarita's bier, see the ultimate no, a woman's with over empire's might. This wasn't just lust veiled in prayer. It was power's naked face, grinning in the dark. So, what's the takeaway? History's not dusty dates. It's heartbeats, hungers, the thin line between saint and sinner. Next time you pass a quiet church, wonder, what's veiled there? If this tale of temptation and triumph hooked you, smash that like button. Tell me in comments, which scandal shocked you more, the demons or the king's crush? Drop a sub for more forbidden histories, and hit the bell. We're uncovering the next one soon. Until then, keep questioning the veils. Stay curious, stay bold. See you in the shadows.